Purpose. Are you waking up asking yourself, why the hell am I doing this? Are you catching yourself zoning out in traffic, feeling like a cog in a machine? Are you waking up asking yourself, why? Why do I exist? Why am I doing this? Well, listen. Many people go through that. In fact, I did too. But I'll tell you, I have a message for you to help you find your purpose today. Your purpose is actually inside of you. Your purpose is actually right in front of you. Your purpose, it's knocking on your front door and it wants you to answer, but you're too busy ignoring it. Hear me out, and I'll share with you how to discover and lock into your purpose. There's been two critical points in my life where purpose took me from one direction and put me on another. And it did it like that. I was 20 years old in Iraq. I was laying down in this city called Bakuba, Iraq. The 82nd Airborne were in a giant gunfight about a mile from my location. Apaches were flying in. There was ground combat, air combat. And my job was to build this patrol base about a mile away from that fight. I was an engineer. I was an enlisted soldier. I had came into the military and I picked a realistic job, one that all my friends and family members affirmed that it was a good choice. And so I picked it. I lived and chose that job by listening to the outside and listening to the external world, and I was leading my life from the outside in, from others' perspective and others' opinion inward. I wasn't valuing mine. And that landed me in the military, and it landed me, well, I joined the military out of choice and desperation, but that's a different story. But listening to others landed me in the military as an enlisted soldier. And so I'm laying there and I'm building this patrol base for the fighters, for the warriors that are away from me. And as I'm laying there, it's 2:00 in the morning. I had been in Iraq for about 7-8 months or so. I had my weapon on my chest, my body armor on, my helmet on, and I was laying up looking at the stars right around 2:00 in the morning. And I could hear the gunfire. And you know what? It sounded kind of poetic. It sounded kind of beautiful. It sounded like a beautiful symphony. And as I laid there hearing the gunfire, I knew that it was chaos that was happening over there. And in that moment, I went inward and started to reflect. And I asked myself, dude, what the hell are you doing over here? What are you doing in Iraq? You're 20 years old. There's a gunfight a mile from you, and you just built this patrol base to support those soldiers. Now, it was good work. It was honorable work that I was doing. But something in my heart was pulling me. Something in my heart told me I should be over there with them. And it was in that moment that I decided to stop listening to everybody else and start listening to myself, to start listening to my heart and say yes to chasing my dream. So I said, you know what? I should be over there. I want to join the infantry. I want to be an operator. I want to do what the special operations soldiers are doing. And so I made a commitment to myself that I was going to chase a dream, and I put in a packet to go green to gold and become an infantry officer. I made my way through that pipeline, landed my dream job, and eventually made my way to light infantry company commander. My dream came true. Now, with all dreams, we all have many chapters in life. Okay, you're writing a whole book, and the chapter that you're in right now is that. It's just one chapter. And so that chapter ended. That dream ended. And I was stuck searching again. I was a light infantry company commander. I went out and I ran 103 miles in the Colorado Rockies. And I started asking myself again. I said, what do you want out of life, man? But something happened on that race. I realized that there was something that life wanted from me. During that race, I went inward once again. And while I was searching and reflecting and thinking and contemplating, I realized that my purpose was to get out of the military and impact as many lives as possible. Now listen, 4 months later from that decision, I was out of the military, head first in entrepreneurship. I dove into the abyss and never looked back. And now I'm living this life, doing what I want, when I want, with whoever I want. But listen, this story isn't about me, it's about you. It's about finding your purpose. When I switched from enlisted soldier to infantry officer, I knew that the warrior's call that I felt was my purpose in life. There was no physical evidence that that was the path for me, but I knew it in my soul. And when I said yes to switching careers and chasing my dream, I found peace when I was pursuing it. If you would just simply say yes to your dream, you would start finding peace inside. And I know this is true because when I decided to separate from service after running 103 miles in the Colorado Rockies, the same feeling came over me. But here's the thing. A lot of people look outside of themselves for their purpose. That's a recipe for failure. If you want to know how to never achieve your dreams, it's to try to live somebody else's. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Your purpose is inside of you. The negative voice that's inside of you, it yells the loudest. It's actually distracting you. But the quiet voice inside of your mind, the quiet voice that's whispering to you, it's trying to deliver your purpose to you. And so if you want to get aligned and you want to feel inspired, your job is to shake hands with the little voice that's inside of your head and say yes to your purpose. Your purpose in life is 50% calling and it's 50% choice. What are you going to choose next? Conquer all.